Let us see default arguments in functions. I want to write a function for finding sum of two integers. So I will take a function name as sum and integer a comma integer b. Now here I will say return a plus b. I want to modify this function for now. Now this function can take two integers and find out the sum of those. Let us call this one cout sum 10 comma 5. Just now we have seen this type of function. Now I want to write one more function with the three parameters finding the sum of three numbers. So I will declare a variable c here itself and I will add these three numbers and send. Now this function is gone. I don't have a function which takes two parameters. So see here, no matching function for call to sum. It's not found. But this is available. Cout sum 12 comma 13 comma 14. I have passed three parameters. So this is valid. And this function became invalid. This is valid because there are three arguments. Now what I'll do here is the last argument I'll make it as 0. So this is optional. Now this is not an error. If I pass two arguments, this 10 goes into A and 5 goes into B, and by default C will be 0. And when this A, B, C are added, the value of C is 0. So I'll get the exact result of 10 plus 5. So a single function will work as a two different function, one with two arguments and one with three arguments. And these arguments called as default arguments. The benefit of default argument is we can define overloaded functions by writing a single function. Now let me write one function for finding maximum of three numbers. Let us see. Int max integer a comma integer b comma integer c. So this is taking three arguments, and here I will check return if a is greater than b as well as a is greater than c, then return a. Otherwise, if b is greater than c, return b, otherwise return c. So using ternary operators, I have written this function just in a single line. See, this is the conditional statement, and this is if part, and this is else part. If I want, I can put it in brackets also. This is the else part. This else part is again having a conditional statement, and this is the if part, and this is the else part. Now let us call this function, that is max, by passing some arguments 10 comma 13 comma 12. Let us see what is the result it will return. It should return 13. So yes, answer is 13. I got the answer. Now I want to make one of the argument as default. So I'll make C as default, and here I will pass just two arguments, that is 10 and 13. Let us see what will be the result. Again it is working. So it's working for just two parameters also, and it is working for three parameters. Let me check with value 15. I should get the result 15. Yes. So it is working for two arguments also, it's working for three arguments also, because the last argument is optional and it is having default. I will make first argument also as default. This is 0. Then only one argument is also allowed. So let me remove all these and just take 10 and call this one. Yeah, it is not an error. It is able to call that function. So it is sending the value 10. So this is working. Even if I send a single parameter also, it's working. I will give this also as 0, a also as 0, and I will not pass any argument. Yes, still it is valid. So this single function is acting as four different functions. One is max without any arguments, and one is max with one argument, that is 10, and max with two arguments. I'll pass two arguments, 10 comma 13, and one more max with three arguments, that is 10 comma 13 comma 15. So for all these function calls, the same function will be called, and it is means it is just like an overloaded function. So you can see the complete program here. So this single function is acting as four different overloaded functions, that is 0 argument, 1 argument, 2 argument, and 3 argument. So it works, it's not an error, and it will show different results. So the values are 0, 10, 13, 15. So I got the perfect result for all four function calls. First time when I am not passing anything, so 0 is the greatest number here. When I pass 10, so 10 is the greatest number, and so on. Now one more thing I'll show you here, that if I remove this default argument, then what happens? See, it's an error, missing default argument on parameter B. So parameter B, we have missed this one, so we must give default argument to this one. If you want, you can skip this one. It means if you want to fill default arguments to the parameters, you should fill them from the right hand side, not from left hand side, and without skipping any argument. See, I have removed the default argument, so this function call became a invalid function. I'll make this also as default argument. Now everything is perfect. So default argument feature is very useful feature in C++. I'll give you some exercises. You have to solve those challenges. So by that time you try this on your computer.